Hi, besties. Thanks for joining me today, as always. I am flying solo, so you get me all to yourselves. Isn't that fun? It's going to be the one woman show as usual. Okay. We have so much to talk about. Y'all, this is an Orange County episode, uh, mind you. But with that being said, I am Gina Kirschenheider has been doing the effing most on Instagram lately. Y'all, I I'm going to let you know I know exactly where I stand in this perpetual feud that she's really just been going in on Shannon Storm's boudoir on. So, I guess the maybe it was like the day after Shannon and Vicky were on Watch What Happens Live, which was such a fun episode, by the way. Uh, Gina posts an Instagram post, cute. Find new words, Caitlin, where I guess Shannon wore the exact same skirt Gina did when she was on Watch What Happens Live. And literally no one else noticed this except for Gina, apparently. It is a black pleather skirt with a lace trim on the bottom, worn in completely different ways. Uh, yeah. Well, Gina puts in the caption that imitation, she spells it incorrectly, which, okay, I mean, we do have autocorrect. It's kind of hard to really fuck that one up. And imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Looks like someone's been shopping my LTK like to know links. And she posted a photo that was a layout side by side of her and Shannon wearing the same stupid skirt. Y'all, I just. So Shannon posts in retaliation, and she put in it the correct spelling of imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Then, right when this particular episode that I'm going to cover today aired, Gina had, I guess, been poking at Shannon again. And for Shannon, she went ahead and posted side by side of, well, she was doing Gina at the You Do You party. I do you, you do me. I'm sorry, party. And close ups of how they gave her like the hair extensions, the infamous extensions. Like, I'm sorry, friends, but if I'm dressing up as Gina, I'm not going as the current Gina. I mean, y'all, that's just not what anyone's going to do. I why like really that's less discernible because now what is she gonna she has a bob and loves to wear denim jumpsuits apparently. Everyone's wearing the denim jumpsuits. Oh my god, but then y'all also okay, wait, let me finish this. Excuse me before I jump ahead. So Gina then posts at Shannon basically on Instagram saying, this was like a really hard time in my life. And to weaponize that, talking about when she was going through the hair extensions, she was going through the divorce, had just gotten that DUI and things like that. Like, listen, yes, we know she doesn't drink anymore, and it sounds like there actually may have been an issue with her drinking, but lots of people have gotten DUIs. Let's not like beat the dead horse on that, okay? Let me just say that. That being said, she was acting as though Shannon had literally walked in as Gina with the clip in hair extensions, and maybe like, I don't know, an orange jumpsuit. She didn't do that, okay? And Gina started this whole stupid ass thing with saying that Shannon was copying her and like trying to be just kind of a dickhead about it. People were like, oh my God, Gina's just joking. Nah, girl, that was rude and she should have deleted it. That would have been, if people didn't get the joke, then you delete the post, right? I mean, the comments were commenting, let me tell you that, because people were like, oh my God, Gina, it's not too late to delete this post. So she started it. Then, oh my God, you guys, Gina is using Rent the Runway because she put up another post with a code that's like RTR Gina K to get 40% off your first 2 months. She's using Rent the Runway. There's nothing wrong with it. I used to work there, but still, it just kind of cracked me up a little bit. Speaking of Watch What Happens Live, Oh my God. Y'all, when Jeff Lewis was on there with Heather McDonald and Andy brings up Kyle to him, the headlines on this, I genuinely thought it was going to be just clickbait when I clicked on it because, yeah, it was clickbaiting. So I clicked on it. And Jeff literally said in one sentence regarding Kyle Richards, we're friends. I just can't believe she's a lesbian on Ozempic and she didn't tell me. And Andy was like, oh my God. And we all were like, oh my God. Hysterical. Now, let me put in for this very quickly a trigger warning. Go ahead and skip ahead for the next 30 seconds if you just don't want to be triggered by the potential sexual assault that almost occurred on Below Deck Down Under. Now, I'm not a below decker. Y'all know this about me, but I do want to applaud, and they have been applauded, quite a bit, but still, the production members, Aisha, I believe is how you say her name, and Captain Jason. That situation where this guy, Luke, that was on the crew, well, they'd all been drinking heavily, especially this one girl, Margot, and she went to bed. And Luke goes in and lays down behind her. And it's hard to see exactly what's going on, at least just from the clips. And then you kind of are like, what's the deal? But then you see, because production, like one of the producers, like, get down. No, you can't be in there, bud. Nope. And this guy, Luke's just like flipping out a bit. He gets off of the bunk. He is butt naked, laying behind this girl, Margot. He was trying to get up on her as she was completely passed out drunk. Now, here's the thing, too. There is another crew member named Laura, who I guess then says to Margot later on that, well, you didn't exactly say no. Now, listen here. I have a son, and he presents at the moment as male, so that's what I'm going to say. He's my son, okay? Yes, I am a liberal. Shut the fuck up if you don't like it, okay? That being said, and by I'm a liberal, I mean, like, I respect other people's feelings, and I have empathy and compassion, and, okay, that's where I'm stopping. Consent is something that not only you have to give, you can also decide you no longer give consent to something. So even if, which this is not the case, but even if this woman had been saying yes, and then he climbed in and she said, actually, no, that means she withdrew her consent and she had every right in that moment to be left the hell alone. Quite literally, it doesn't matter what you have said or done. A person, not just a female, a person should be able to lay starfished on a floor, butt naked, and be passed out drunk. And if they are passed out drunk, no one should touch them inappropriately. If you want to cover them up with a blanket and help them get to bed and leave them there, great. That's it. Period. So, I do want to say that coming up with the next topic I'm bringing up, it's good to see that this isn't just a free-for-all when it comes to how reality television is produced, especially on this network. And we're not just going to be drooling over overly sensationalized drama that is just harmful to others. This was a very clear stance that really the Bravo community and beyond that really came together and let it be known, hey, we don't need drama at the expense of someone's life, their safety, their health, their mental health, their bodily safety, things like that. So the timing could not have been better. I wish there had never been anything like this that had to have happened for this to be presented as what my case here. So good on the crew members who took care of things there. Now, the legal letter. Okay. That Bethany Frankel's legal team sent over to Bravo. Now, what do I want to say about this? A lot. That's what. I'm going to tell you what I think. and I'll tell you what I believe. One, I believe that absolutely reality television stars should absolutely have union rights and be a part of a union. That's number one. Number two, with that, they absolutely deserve residuals and they deserve an excellent base pay. Okay? It is a different type of work than scripted. Period. We all know that. With that being said, I do not feel that Bethany Frankel is the one to lead the charge on this. She is quite literally hopping on whatever she can to get the most attention she can for anything. Because here's my thing, too. She certainly has no problem doing housewife recaps. She's still benefiting from Housewives, and yet all she does is put down Bravo. So that's my issue. Are there plenty of people who absolutely should be able to say, hey, y'all did some fucked up shit. I need you to take care of me the way I should be taken care of. 1000%. So that reality reckoning that she was talking about, that was before the unhinged lobster face cramming fest in the middle of her hotel room. But interestingly enough, she was in Atlanta, and I think she must have been talking to Nene and maybe a few other people there, because a letter was sent to the legal team over at Bravo NBCU. And essentially, it was alarming to a lot of people because they thought that here's the lawsuit, this is what it is. No. A great account that broke this down is allegedly Bravo. She has passed the bar. I believe she's working as an attorney. She broke all of it down, which I am not going to try and break down because y'all know my brain just doesn't really work that way. I try, okay? But it doesn't. So that being said, check out her account. Also check out the Bravo docket. This essentially was a letter telling everyone over there at Bravo, NBC Universal, keep all that footage, which, oh my God, jealous. I'd love to see all the unseen footage. Anyway, another trigger warning coming here. Because they are accusing Bravo, its producers, its production of the following, which are, again, trigger warning. One being revenge porn. Yeah. That's very disturbing to me. Sexual assault. Yeah. Sexual harassment, as well. Oh my gosh, it just flew out of my brain. I'm having one of those days, my friends. Bear with me. There were also the claims of basically forcing or plying cast members with alcohol and withholding food. We've heard all of this type of thing before from all the reality shows, okay? So this is nothing new. Bethany claims she had 80 people behind her on this. Now, I can tell you the revenge porn, I know someone who had a really interesting take on what they thought it might have been. And the more I think about it, the more I'm pretty certain it most likely is actually Rachel Leviss involved in that, because I guess if, the screen recording of her and Tom Sandoval, that must have been it. Now, someone else, and I want to give her credit, but I don't know if she wants me to not mention her. So I'll give her credit next time if she's cool. I should have asked her before I even recorded. But her thought was, a friend of mine's thought was that maybe the revenge porn is, footage of the women getting in the bath, and cameras were still up in there. So that, just things like that. So that's also a possibility. Now, the plying cast members with alcohol and withholding food, find it very interesting, especially that Bethany is, again, spearheading this. When she actually, what year was this? Quite a few years ago when Aviva Drescher, who could forget? The only thing fake about me is this, the leg, right? Well, I guess Aviva, this was, again, whenever she had just come off of the show, she told Page Six that she felt as though production was trying to really get her to drink alcohol. There was a scene she was going to do with Ramona where they said, we want you to take shots together to kind of cheers to your friendship. And I guess because Aviva grew up with an alcoholic mother, she was like, I've never taken a shot before. I don't really drink much. I don't want to. And so can I just take a shot of water? And she alleged that production said, no, you cannot take a shot of alcohol. Just do it. And then Bethany tweeted when she saw this article, again, many years ago, that basically Aviva was full of shit and that she couldn't believe that she would speak down on the production crew like that. So, Bethany, what is it? I mean, what are you going to do? Send me a cease and desist for asking you a question? Because that's the other thing. You can't even handle anyone talking about you, yet you still continue. She drives me nuts. And I think it's because I used to love her so freaking much. She's not self-made the way she claims she is. She's not. Could Skinny Girl have made it without Housewives? Absolutely. Don't even get me started on the fact that that name is so incredibly problematic, Skinny Girl. She's not a marketing genius. If she thinks that Skinny Girl is still a brilliant marketing move, especially when you are as thin as she is. How about Healthy Girl? I think that's a better marketing move. Oh, but wait, that's a cheater brand. I mean, I didn't call it Tipsy Girl. Anyway, so all of that's going on. With that being said, I'm ruminating on something. So, yeah. Especially because there was a period of time earlier this year, this is just kind of all culminating, that NBCU legal team was getting accounts with the name Bravo, like social media accounts, taken down for random things. And it only seemed to be accounts, for the most part, that had the name Bravo in them. So with that, if Bravo is, going to be taking this huge hit, yeah, I'm thinking about just changing up the name of some of my stuff. I'm going to just start letting y'all know as soon as possible, really setting it up so that there is no surprise when it happens. Because I'm thinking, basically what it comes down to is when I first started this, it was with a different setup in mind. It was not going to be just me doing it by myself. Things happened. This is where we're at. And with that, I didn't think that anyone would be interested in listening to just Caitlin Marshall talking. And I didn't think anyone would be interested in anything that was about me. Now, is it whatever I change the name to, is it still going to be mostly Bravo? Hell yes, because y'all, who else can I talk to about this in my life? You besties are who I talk to about this, okay? Otherwise, everyone else is just sick of hearing me talk about all of it, okay? So don't worry. Format would only slightly change in the sense that I might be able to do more episodes, because if I cover more than just Bravo, that would be helpful. But I will always cover Bravo until my lips to God's ears that it doesn't happen. But, let's hope Bravo doesn't get quote unquote canceled, okay? Can't. They can't. I refuse. All right. So, should we get started here on Orange County? Or you know what? I'm going to take a really quick break because, gosh, I'm already tired of hearing myself talk. Please don't be tired of hearing me talk. I'm going to keep doing it. All right. So I'll be right back, friends. Stick around. Thanks for hanging around. Okay. Wow. I just want to start by saying the idea for this party is fantastic, and I am pretty sure I'm going to demand every single franchise do a you do me, I do you party. I think that was the name of it. Yeah, God, should have, of all the things to just not write down, Caitlin. Anyway, here we go. A lot of the beginning of the episode, I'm going to be honest, I was just kind of like, meh, okay, let's get to the party. But, I think Heather, whenever, Gina and Heather go to the pumpkin patch in September, I guess, because Gina wanted to get a gift for Jen for having them over for the little party on Friday night. So you're going to buy Jen a pumpkin? What are you doing? Okay. Anyway, Heather talking about Shannon and John, and Shannon talking about Gina and Travis. Right. Gina is mostly just like deflecting at this point. That's just really all I can say. Once we get to that part where Jen is with her friend and they're on, like the dock there. The boardwalk. Wow, Caitlin, get it together. Jen is telling her friend that she's afraid Ryan will start to feel trapped once he has a ring on, which, hey, you know what? That's kind of a fair thing, all right? And Jen is still going through her divorce. Ryan has been divorced for 5 years, and really, I think he's been mentally divorced since before he got married, from what we've heard about that man. Yeah. And Jesus H. Christ, what in the Ed Hardy's asshole was he wearing in that flashback? Ryan, get it together. This is ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry, but even Mike the Situation, which you are brothers clearly, would not have worn that back in the day. He would have been too embarrassed, I think. Or I don't know, man. I don't know. He would have been like, oh, you know what? This is it. This is it right here. Anyway, let's get to the party night. I love that Vicky is dressing up as Queen Victoria. Yeah, that, oh my God. And then this one, Miss Victoria's list for the man she wanted to end up with. 1, he has to be age 58 to 63. 2, a Christian. He has to love God. 3, he has to own a home. 4, independently wealthy. I don't want to be paying for everything, okay? 5, entrepreneur. 6, forward thinker. 7, have a passport. 8, because of course, has to love Mexico. Love to travel is 9. 10, be divorced. I don't want anybody who's in the process of it. He can't be in the process of it. 11, have children. 12, country western boy. 13, love country music. 14, compassionate. 15, adore Vicky. 16, make Vicky laugh. He's got to be funny. 17, find me funny. Find Vicky funny. 18, have fun together. And then the last one, it's just a bonus if he has a boat. He doesn't have to have a boat, but it's a bonus. I'm still working on my Vicky voice. I don't know. I'm a work in progress with everything, basically. No one should do an impression of me because it would probably be very embarrassing. You would say literally 500 times. And, yeah. Okay. So, Gina, I think she showed up looking great. She definitely nailed Emily. Tamara fully nailed it as Heather. Jen killed it. Heather just kind of wanted to look pretty with a blonde wig, I think. That's really, She doesn't look terrible with blonde hair. I have always thought Heather would benefit from some soft highlights. Okay, very dark highlights. The dark color, it may be kind of a signature for her at this point, but it's a little harsh, and that's coming from someone who used to be a master colorist. Thank you very much. Okay, Taylor. You were barely even there this episode. That's number 1. Number 2, did you even try? Oh my God. At all? I don't know. I would have been wearing, she even said, a cut fitness, or I don't know, wear a shirt that says, that's my opinion. Anything. Listen, or show up at her own baptism. What happened there? I don't know. She must have been busy, didn't care. I don't know. You can just tell how every single one of these women shows up for Halloween. They're the girls who are I still want to look pretty. Sorry, but that's me. I'm so annoying. I'm I want to dress up for Halloween, but I don't want to be ugly. I need to start working on, not being one of those girls, but it's pretty obvious, Shannon killed it with Gina. And again, Gina trying to victimize herself about this, it's just so goddamn stupid. I'm sorry. But my God, I've had a lot of difficult times in my life. And if someone showed up as that version of me for a party, because it's the most recognizable version of me, I'm going to get over it. But it's a typical Housewives trope. What can I say? So once the women are doing keg stands, oh my God, the last women who should be doing keg stands are the 2 who they have do it, Vicky and Shannon. They are the clumsiest women on this planet, and it was stressful watching that, okay? I'm sorry. It was. More of the typical housewife tropes. Emily, I'm always on her side right now because something about her is just totally winning this year, and I love it. Okay, anyway, the classic housewives trope of, I'm really hurt that you're not sharing more of your personal struggles with me, Shannon. Emily, all right. So they start to play that game And it seems that Vicky just discovered what, well, having sex doggy style is. Okay. Congratulations. Turns out also that Taylor has had a threesome. I felt like it was a little for Heather to be like, I think it was Taylor. Well, she's bisexual. That was kind of like I don't know, a cheap guess. I would have liked to see her try and guess someone that we wouldn't expect because then it might have brought someone out of their shell to talk about, well, I haven't done that, but I've done this, whatever. If that's what we were really going for, but it's Heather. Cracking up at how Gina was like, oh my God, Emily, I can't tell. You're turning into Shannon. And because Emily was, I guess, doing this with her hands. And Shannon in confessional, I do this with my hands, pointing like I have tiny finger guns. I direct air traffic. I don't do spirit fingers. These are Shannon spirit fingers. These are not Shannon's spirit fingers. Cracking me up. And then Vicky draws a card for a striptease. And she goes, oh, my kids are going to be mortified. And Gina goes, are you kidding me? After 15 years, your kids are going to be mortified now? And we get the beautiful flashback montage of, you sent a little family van? That was beautiful. The Brooks scene, I'm going to turn this table over. My favorite part of hers, can I say her vagina? Oh, God. And then Vicky screaming, I have never been with multiple partners in my life. Flashbacks. Oh, my God. Also, did y'all notice how they were like, let's zoom in sound and the camera somehow on Gina's goddamn laugh? Now, I am one to talk. I have one of those laughs that is apparently distinct. God, I will never forget this girl. I'm not going to say her last name, although the only reason I want to say her last name is to distinguish the fact that it is not my very dear friend Lauren, who I'm still friends with, that said this to me. But this girl, she ended up being such a stupid bitch to me in high school. But I knew her in elementary school, so it's a different Lauren than my Lauren. That's the only way I can say it. She looked at me one day when I was in second grade and goes, I hate your laugh. Lauren, I hope you're rotting in hell right now. Okay, thank you very much. She deserves to, trust me, if you even knew. Anyway, but Gina's laugh is a bit of a, I'm going to back away from the mic for a second. You know what I mean? I'm sure the video of that was real cute. I had 12 chins. Okay. What's cracking me up about this is how Tamra had said to her makeup artist when she was, like talking about the Shannon of it all, like, oh, and her makeup artist was like, do you think Shannon's gonna bring up to Heather tonight about her supposedly talking behind her back about her relationship with John? And Tamra's like, oh my God, I don't think she's gonna be able to help herself. Well, guess what? Tamra's the one who brings it up at the table after enough tequila, mind you. But that being said, she brings it up and, saying what Heather is supposedly saying about Shannon and John. And she brings it up to Heather and Gina at the table and about how she was having drinks with Emily. And Emily said that Heather told her that Shannon and John's relationship wasn't good. So Shannon brings Heather over to talk to her. Heather is vehemently denying all of it. But Shannon tells Heather that Tamra told her, do you hear this weird telephone talk? Okay. Game of telephone talk, I should say. Emily was almost in tears the other night because Heather pulled her aside and said Shannon and John's relationship is bad and that Heather told Gina that and then that Heather told me, as in Tamra, and that's Shannon saying that. I know, it's kind of confusing, right? And then over at the table, Emily saying, the problem is that Shannon likes to tell all of us these things that happened between her and John. And then it's that she does it, very low key, down low. And Vicky says it's because she wants to protect John. And then Emily's like, yeah, but it gets to the point where it's unfair. And Vicky's like, yeah, because she isn't revealing everything and she's making it look like all roses. So back over to Heather and Shannon. Heather says, I have not told any of those girls your story. And so that's when Shannon says, Tamara says that you sat down with her and you told her. And Heather says, and said what? That only in generalities. Okay, it's really bad. Heather says, I have only always ever been neutral about you and John, always. And then in confessional, Heather says, Tamara's trying to drum up something as if I can't keep a secret. I don't like that. But also, I think that Shannon is way too concerned about who's talking about her relationship rather than being concerned about her actual relationship. So Shannon says, now I'm going to have to talk to John about this, and he's going to say, you know how private I am. Why would you tell anybody anything about a relationship that when we fight, it's devastating? And in confessional, she says, I have never cared about a person more in my life. John is supportive, loving, easygoing, affirmative, good to my kids. The list goes on. I certainly don't want to lose that. And Heather tells her, I'm just telling you, I've been a really good friend to you. I care about your relationship. I care about your children, and I wouldn't spread your private information in anything. You've told me, even in our vault, I would never repeat. Just so you know, some of these girls are very specific about you not having a good relationship and hiding it. So then we get the flashback of that scene that I really wasn't all that interested in covering, really, of Gina with Heather and Gina at that pumpkin patch. And Gina's saying, am I concerned about it? Yes. But do I respect the fact that she just does not want to talk about it? Yes. So Shannon says, this is my private information that I felt I could share with you. And by the way, that is my private information that all these girls are now talking about. So over at the table, Tamara asked Emily what happened. And Emily says, she said they got in this huge fight and he left her at Nobu. Then Gina says, I think that if it was just an isolated situation, and Taylor says, but the question is it isolated? So back over to Shannon and Heather. And Heather says, you and I have had a really nice relationship. And all I've said to these girls is how you and I have gotten so close. And Shannon's just kind of interrupting her. Okay, so you've never said anything. Let me finish speaking, please. I had to do what I have done, what I need to do, but I am not taking a fall I'm not taking a fall of defiling our friendship because I didn't do that. And I refuse to be held to the fire for something I did not do. I get it. So at the table, Emily, someone hands Emily a skewer and Emily's like, where did you find chicken? And someone's like, it's kind of dried chicken. Man, it sounds like Sonia from Atlanta and Jen must have been using the same caterers. So Tamara then says, let me ask you a question to Emily. Did Heather talk to you about being concerned about Shannon's relationship? Emily, yes. Then Tamara turns to Gina. Did she talk to you? Yes. So that's when Heather goes, what are you whispering about, Tamara? And Tamara she is so not afraid of Heather in any way, shape, or form. Tamara goes, my question is, did you talk to Gina and Emily about Shannon's relationship? Then Heather says, how about this? Did all of you talk about Shannon's relationship? And Shannon goes, you can't do this, Heather. Not gonna do this in a group. And Emily goes, you know what, Heather? That's not fair. But you can't blame it on us when you're the one that talked about. And Heather's like, do you know what? Stand down. Stand down. And in confessional, Emily says, Heather is deflecting and trying to blame it on us to absolve her of doing any wrongdoing. However, if you want to go to the crux of where this all began, it begins with Heather talking about things that Shannon had shared with her. And then Gina, out of nowhere, goes, it's a concern. Shannon looks at Gina. Something about it, the two of them just, poof. Shannon goes, Gina? Okay. And Shannon starts to get up and leave. And Gina because Gina cannot just stop, you know? Gina goes, I'm the last person that's going to get involved in this, and I'm trying to help either way. I respect your boundaries. You're the one poking around in my relationship, Shannon. And Shannon gets this look on her face, like she is about to put Gina in the fucking eye of her storms. You like that? Okay. Uh-huh. And Gina goes, so really, I think you should stand down. Why are we saying stand down? So stand down and poking. Shannon's like, I'm not poking. You went to Emily and you were concerned about my relationship with Travis. Just the same way that Heather was. Why are you yelling at her if she isn't concerned? I wasn't upset because it was a concern. I didn't really feel like Shannon was yelling totally at Heather at that point, but whatever. This is when the music starts getting dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? And Shannon goes, you owe my boyfriend a huge fucking apology. And Gina goes, your boyfriend owes you 1,000 apologies, apparently, from what everyone else is saying. They're concerned about you. That's all. This has nothing to do with me. All right. Nobody here knows anything about my relationship. Y'all, when someone is protesting this intensely, I have never been more in love in my life. And I've never hurt more when we've not been in a good spot. So in confessional, Shannon's like, are you fucking kidding me? Am I getting fucking ambushed here? These girls are exaggerating. It's like a rat feeding frenzy. So Shannon's done. She supposedly, right? She's leaving. You guys enjoy having conversations about me. You don't know. I'm fucking out. So Emily and Tamara follow Shannon. And Jen's saying at the table, she's going through stuff and, she's confiding. And Vicky's like, well, as you get older, less gossip. And I hear it's been happening to you. I'm sorry. And so Jen in confessional says, I've seen Shannon and John together and they seem very happy. I mean, bless them for trying to survive this group. Emily, Tamara, and Shannon are in the house, and Emily's telling Shannon to calm down. Calm down. No, this is my life. No, John, it's coming at me everywhere. And at the table, Heather's asking Gina, why is Emily always coming after me? I'm done with her. No, that's bullshit. I don't know why. I just love it when Heather cusses. It's like, whatever. Anyway, Vicky asks Heather what happened, and, I heard you were telling them. And Heather's like, perfect Heather speech, because she's, yes, everything is my fault. Apparently, I'm a Machiavellian, a terrible person who just manipulates everyone. Everyone has talked about Shannon's relationship for years. Cool. So, Machiavellian, I'm sorry, I will never forget Camille, at the time Grammar, saying that on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and it is just like something full circle about this, and I'm not sure what. And Vicky's like, right, vault. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. I guess vault is like their version of the Kardashian Bible. So Emily's, again, we're back in the house. Listen, I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this. I love you. Tamara just jumps in. I think what Heather did was fucking rude. Tamara's like, basically, bitch, move this the fuck along. We are not having a heart-to-heart. We need to take Heather down. Okay? And Shannon says, she told me she never said anything to any of you. Emily and Tamara both tell Shannon, well, she lied. It's not true. So Tamara walks off back over to the table. Okay, what the fuck? Why would you say I'm not talking the truth about why did I get brought into this? Tamara's drunk. We got Tammy Sue. Tammy Sue is present. Hello, and accounted for. She's shown up, all right? She's really been showing up to work in general. So Heather's like, why did I get brought into this? You guys are all saying that I'm shit talking. And Tamara goes, I haven't said anything, but why did you tell her that I'm shit talking her? I didn't say, Tamara. I said they've all talked about the relationship. And the editors give us a rewind. And yeah, that's pretty much it. She did not ever say Tamara. So back to Emily and Shannon. Oh my gosh. Shannon goes, I don't call you. I haven't told you anything bad about John. And Emily goes, okay, that's not true. That's 2 years ago. No, it was actually a couple of months ago. We went to Javier's and you told me a lot of things. And Shannon's face during this. Shannon's like, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 vodka sodas. Ah, fuck. What did I say? And she just looks at her. I don't know. Don't remember. I don't know what I said. No. Emily just, okay. You did. Okay. Okay. And in confessional, Emily says, from what she told me, I don't feel like he's invested in a relationship. And I feel like she's wasting her time and I feel like she can do better. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Then we cut over to Heather in confessional. Shannon pays for everything. The family dynamic isn't great. He's never slept over and his son lives with him. So she doesn't get to go over there. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, Heather, they're giving you that edit, girlfriend. They sure are. Then Vicky comes running out because we need like a moment of comic relief, you know what I'm saying? And so she runs out and who do you have to know to whoop it up around here? I'm so thirsty. And then she runs over to the bar and the bartender. And she goes, do you have red wine and a Cabernet? That you're going to whoop it up with a good Cabernet? I mean, listen, when I'm thinking of whooping it up, I don't necessarily reach for a Cabernet, but all right. And the bartender's like, you know, what I have here is what I have. You are not doing this right. What the hell has happened to my life? As she's trying to open the bottle of wine, and then she opens it and it's like, pop, whatever. She opens it, she's struggling. Who wants red wine? Red wine. Okay. Who wants red wine? That sounded like red rum. Okay. Totally took a turn here. So then we're back inside and Shannon's like, you guys are making the decision on where my relationship goes because he's done. I'm done. I have never left them at more. Oh, see? This is what happens sometimes when my notes turn to shit. So he's done. I'm done. You guys are putting my relationship. I don't even know how I'm going to talk to him about this tomorrow because it's our private business. And Emily's like, yes, but Shannon, my relationship is my private business, but I've always fucking shared it with you, Shannon. That's the difference. It hurts me that you don't share things. My relationship with John is good. It's good, except when we get in an argument. And people get in an argument. It's fucking natural. Natural. It's off-gassed. Arguments are off-gassed. So Vicky comes over and Shannon's asking her, like, you stop her from following me. I'm leaving. I'm done. Tell her to stop talking. So Vicky and Emily are at the door with Shannon, trying to tell her, no, don't go. Just stop. Don't go. And Shannon turns around. Don't make me look irrational. So clearly this must be triggering that moment. I mean, who could forget the gaslighting Shannon went through with the Dubrows and Tamara and Lizzie when they were like, should we call an ambulance? Yeah, I think we should call an ambulance. I think we should. You know, they were like, each eye, 51-50, hold. So Emily's telling you you're not being irrational, all of that. My relationship's over. You guys, pat yourselves on the back. And Emily's saying, no one wants that for you. You can tell things to people so that they can help. And we just want to be your friends and rally around you. Good. And so basically Shannon and Vicky are like, she doesn't need a cheerleader. She doesn't need a rally. I don't want a pep rally. Shannon, who absolutely would love a fucking pep rally for herself. Are you serious? And Vicky, who would love a goddamn pep rally for Victoria. Y'all, this whole thing was a pep rally for each other, okay? Anyway, so then Emily at that point, she's like, all right, basically, I'm trying to be your fucking friend here. I am doing everything I can. Whatever. You tell me how, just whatever. You tell me how bad it is, and I would be there for you. And Shannon, it's not that bad. I have arguments. I'm like shouting at y'all. I am so sorry because this was a lot of shouting. I hope the neighbors are not concerned about me and trying to put me on a 5150. See, that's the thing about living in LA. It was totally normal to hear people shouting to themselves like this in their home. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a little bit different here in Colorado, I think. I'm afraid. So basically we get to confessional because Emily's done, right? And she's like, whatever. Okay, fine, Shannon, it's not that bad. It's fine. And in confessional, Emily's like, she's trying to maintain a relationship publicly that she wants to look like it's solid and perfect and amazing. This part absolutely fucking kills me because I'm going to tell you what. I don't care who the man is. If he spoke to me that way, I don't need you. Okay? Period. Shannon, you absolutely can do better, sweet girl. If this is all the truth. Emily says he's called her names and said that she's fat or unattractive. And Emily's, like, I hate even saying that word because it makes my heart hurt. And Emily's getting emotional that anyone would say that to a woman. Okay? So then Emily goes back over to the table. I'm always going to be the fucking bad guy in this situation. And you see Heather's face is just, she's back there like her lips are pursed and she's sticking her lips up right under her little nose. And Heather, no, you're making me, I'm sorry, wow. Was that Heather or Emily? No, you're making me the bad guy in the situation. You know what? We're all the bad guy in this situation, Heather. None of us are going to come out of this clean. Shannon is going to be the good guy and we're all going to fucking be the bad guy. So then Tamara goes to Vicky and Shannon and Shannon says, my relationship cannot be the topic of conversation. I've called Emily and Gina once since 2020 and she says it's making it sound like I'm calling them all the time. I'm talking about Vicky saying that. Okay. So then we go back over to the table. Emily and Gina are at the table. And Emily's really upset. And Gina's kind of asking her why. And Emily really is just upset because she feels like she worked so hard to get to the point where she and Shannon were friends. And then now she's not seeing anything. And honestly, that she just doesn't even know if her relationship with Shannon can survive this. And she says in confessional that she's sure Shannon is pissed, that she hates her and feels like she's betrayed her. And, really, Emily just kind of questions, at the end of the day, is John going to be there or will it be them? And she's betting on them, as in the ladies. We know the answer now. And Tamara's asking Shannon what Heather told her. And Shannon is explaining that Heather said that she hasn't said anything and that everything between them is in the vault. That really just I don't know. She feels like Shannon has only told her a handful of things. This was kind of weird to me, but Heather said to Shannon that Shannon has only told her a handful of things. This is all she said, so bear with me. And then my tiny little speech impediment sometimes that I get is with S's and as in I say S's with an H a little bit. Now you're going to hear it and never unhear it. I should have kept my goddamn mouth shut. I'm really not good at that. That's why I have a podcast. Anyway, I'm becoming unhinged. I feel like I'm at this party myself. My God. So anyway, back to that Shannon says Heather told Shannon that Shannon has only told her a handful of things, but Shannon says to Tamara and Vicky, it hasn't been just a handful of things. I mean, 2 or 3 times I've had a conversation. So do you feel like Heather is lying? And in confessional, because Shannon's like, I don't know. And in confessional, Tamara says, Heather likes to light the fire and walk away. She absolutely told me, and she absolutely told Emily about Shannon's relationship problems. So Yeah. Heather comes in to Shannon, Vicky, and Tamara to the Tracy Amigas. Why didn't I just say the Tracy Amigas? That would have been a lot easier. Oh my God. And Heather goes, I want to make sure that you're okay. And I'm like, oh my God, bitch, are you about to try and pull the 5150 eyes on her again? Please don't do that. Please look at her like a friend and not a psychopath. And Shannon says, no, I'm not. What's going on with your marriage? Because I hear that there's stuff going on there on the internet right now. Woo, Shannon. Woo. See, you know what they say about a wounded animal backed in a corner is pretty accurate. And that's Shannon right here. We've seen Shannon here before. We have. You know, that's the thing. And I hate to generalize this and I don't want to make it sexist with like how women respond, but there is a certain type of woman who, and it's a lot of women. I'm going to say a lot of straight women, but hey, it's all types of sexuality, I should probably say, that whenever their relationship is on the rocks or something's going on, the way some of we women will just absolutely like all I can picture for myself is because I'm a Scorpio, as you can see if you're watching. Oh, other side, sorry. I usually cover up the video portion of myself because I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. If you can see yourself on video while you're recording, of course you're going to look at yourself. It's like the mirror being in front of you when you're getting your hair done. Like I can't help but want to look and make sure I'm not looking like a complete fucking idiot. So anyway, my screen is not mirrored, so or is mirrored. I don't know, whatever. Oh my God, you guys. When I tell you, for real, this Adderall shortage is fucking my shit up. I don't care who knows I take Adderall because I am ADHD as fuck and have been diagnosed this since I was a child. Haven't been on Adderall that long, but still, oh my God. Those of us who take it for our ADHD, the functionality difference of being able to take it from a normal manufacturer, I just don't even get me started. Why did I start? Because I'm ADHD. Anyway, so yeah, the Scorpio in me, Scorpion, whatever, it's on my wall behind me, Jesus. Anyway, it's like I picture the hissing scorpion with just like, and it's a defense mode. That's what it is. That's Shannon right now. And she's just like that hissing cat in the corner. Like, you're going to talk about me, I'm going to talk about you. And I know I can probably sound like a Shannon apologist. And it's not even that I'm not dedicated to Shannon the way I feel like I don't know, I'm dedicated to, is there anyone I'm really like that dedicated to? Because at the end of the day, a lot of Bravo celebrities are like, I'm pretty dedicated to like Garcelle. I don't think that there are many others I'm that dedicated to. I really love Candy Burris. Yeah, pretty dedicated to Kenya, and that is very controversial. And another one I'm very dedicated to is Candace Bassett. So I guess I have controversial ones except for Garcelle, but yeah, I'm dedicated to those ladies. Is there anyone else that I just feel that like Sonia Morgan? Absolutely. Yeah. So Margaret Joseph's a little bit. That's very controversial. What? I'm dedicated to the controversial ones sometimes. Now, if it's controversial to be dedicated to Garcelle, get the fuck out of here. She's like a patron saint, okay? Garcelle, please don't do anything, because it's almost like every other time I'm like, I love this person. Something happens. Okay. Anyway, wounded animal, Shannon, that's her. So we see like a flash on the screen. Like our editors, they're like, I think they're kind of pissed at Heather. What do you think? Tell me, because I think they're pissed at Heather. I do. They're really giving her the shit edit this season. And it flashes on the screen an article. It was so quick, is the other thing that was kind of weird. I barely had time to read it, but it was something to do with Heather and Terry, which, oh my God, you guys, by the way, Terry had a scare the other day, last week. It was the same thing see, the ADHD, I'm so sorry, but this actually applies. We're on the same subject. Terry and Heather were at the Ivy, which, oh my God, if you are ever in LA and you want to go somewhere, I think it's still this way, mind you, and you want it to be like an LA experience, go to the Ivy and have lunch. Their crab cakes are fantastic. I will never forget, I've probably told this story already, but oh my God, my mom and I went, and mind you, I moved to LA from Oklahoma, and Quentin Tarantino and Kerry Washington were there having lunch. Okay, it's a fun place to like just even see the sights. It's right over there in Robertson area, not too terribly far from Something About Her. And Terry and Heather were having dinner there with their son, and I guess Terry, like for under a minute, started slurring his speech and really giving all the symptoms of a stroke. And Heather, listen, I Heather is someone I feel like I may talk a lot of shit, but like Heather, if you are in a crisis, if something catastrophic is happening, you want Heather there. I feel like she's very, very smart and she's a quick actor and thinker. Just think of when the ATV crashed where were they? Were they in Morocco? Maybe? And Tamara was driving and Vicky had to be airlifted. Oh my God. And Heather was quick thinking enough to relax her whole body so that she wouldn't cause further injuries to herself. Like Heather's that, listen, I'm sometimes that way, but I think Heather's another level. Heather was like, no, I am calling 911. And of course, Terry's like, oh my God, Heather, this is so embarrassing. I'm fine. And Heather's like, nah, we're calling the ambulance. Can you, like, calling an ambulance to the Ivy, you are going to get attention. I'm just like, I don't know how much more public of a place. Like, they mentioned Nobu this episode. Like, I don't know. Call an ambulance to Nobu, but the Ivy has outdoor seating. I don't recall Nobu ever having outdoor seating at the one in Hollywood. So I can't think of, I mean, I am really trying here to really emphasize that this was like as public as it possibly could ever fucking get. And so they take his vitals, the paramedics do, and they're like, his vitals are fine. And Heather's like, nope, I'm not taking no for a fucking answer. So Terry's pissed at Heather and he leaves because he's embarrassed, leaves in an Uber. And Heather's calling all of his doctor friends. And now I should have pulled this up before I even, started speaking, but I'll just go ahead and type this in. Terry DeBro, health scare, bear with me. Yeah. And what happened was actually the exact same thing that happened to Hailey Bieber, where it was the symptoms of a stroke. And what happened was there was a small hole in his heart that didn't completely finish healing and forming from when he was born. And he had what's called a PFO, and it's a result of a TIA. And I'm not even, unless I see them literally write out the word, I'm not even going to make an attempt at saying it. So the PFO is a patent foramen ovale, or PFO. And again, that's like a hole in the heart that didn't completely close after birth. And the TIA is something like ischemic, something like that. Okay, now I'm sounding even dumber. Anyway, so the clot passed through the hole in his heart, which caused the TIA, which gives stroke-like symptoms, and it can actually cause a stroke. But because they discovered this, and Heather was so like, nope, something is fucking wrong, they were able to repair everything, and he was right back to doing cardiovascular workouts and cleared for surgery. So, interestingly enough, okay? Wow. Back to it, where Shannon, sorry guys, where Shannon's like, no, I'm not, what's going on with your marriage? Because I hear there's stuff going on there on the internets right now. And we see that flash of like, whatever. And Heather goes, yeah, it's a deflection. No, it's not. This was such a weird moment. I literally rewound it like 3 times. I was like, what's going on? Okay. Oh my God, but Heather in confessional, right after this moment, Listen, sweetie, just because your relationship is no bueno don't come after mine with dumb lies and rumors from ridiculous sources online. It's so odd to me that last season when Heather with her threat, if you come for my family ever again, you will lose more than just my friendship. And Shannon brings this up and she doesn't go after her, something, Heather fucked up somewhere, right? Like, this is not normal for Heather. It's not normal behavior to kind of just circle the drain like this, right? Okay, so Shannon's leaving. She's like, I'm out of here. And she's leaving. You all can talk about me behind my back without me here. She says it like 20 times. And then Heather says to Vicky and Tamara while Shannon's walking away, why isn't she talking about it? I don't know. She should talk about it. Okay. And Shannon comes running back in. And everyone's hearing it at this point. Do you know what? I don't have affairs. I don't have bad shit. I have arguments that paralyze me. I'm leaving. If your arguments are paralyzing you, sounds like it's toxic, Yeah. So Heather tells her, we're going to talk, okay, Shannon? She knows this isn't the time. And Shannon's leaving with Vicky. Come on. And she breaks the fourth wall again. And she says, okay, guys, stop. Stop with the camera. I'm not a crazy person. Well, she and Vicky, again, they're leaving. I have a normal relationship. I know you do. I know. And in confessional, Vicky says, I don't know if Shannon and John's relationship is normal. What I do know is Shannon wants this relationship to work, and when everybody's talking bad about it, she's going to have all these voices in her head like, what don't I know? Why don't I see it? Let her figure it out. So Shannon is, again, fully breaking the fourth wall, runs over to the production tents and to the producers. Does anyone want to come up here and talk to me? I called Emily and Gina one time in 2020. I've never called them since this in my life. I have normal fights with my boyfriend that paralyze me, and I have talked about that on camera. Now the fire alarm is going off in Jen's house. And so Gina comes out. Is there a fire? Did Shannon burn the house down? And Shannon's just, again, now I have to go home and tell my private boyfriend that everyone is fucking talking about us and making judgments. If your boyfriend is that fucking private, why is he on camera? Y'all, excuse me, I'm going to adjust this mic a minute because John is not that private if he's going to be on camera. There is something about the way John says, well, yeah, sweetie. Gosh, sweetie, I don't know. Fuck them. And making her climb from the passenger seat to the driver, I will never get over that the rest of my fucking life. Your car better be a classic car that appreciates in value to expect my precious ass, whether it weighs 100 pounds or 500, to crawl across the driver's seat. It better be a fucking investment because I'm the investment. Shannon, baby girl, you are the investment. John, you are a twat. Okay. And in confessional, Shannon says, what's so aggravating to me is none of these women really know John, but yet they all have opinions and comments. Yes, baby doll, because I know what you did. You vented because you just needed to hear that you weren't crazy when he was calling you crazy. That's what's going on, Shannon. You didn't have anyone else there to hear the argument, to say, yes, darling, this is on him, not you. So what you did was you told your side of the story to some friends because you needed the validation. You needed to vent, and you needed the validation. That's understandable. Men, women, everyone does this. what you weren't thinking about is that these women are absolutely going to bring it up on camera. So Heather asks Emily to go talk inside. Back at the table, Shannon's still melting down in the production tent with Tamara, Jen, and Vicky. And Heather says, "You're my friend," to Emily, "and I feel like we're sitting here tonight. What are you doing, man?" Heather, you don't need to try and be relatable now with saying, "Man, what are you doing, man? Guy, my girlfriend." Heather, that's not you. Just don't do it, okay? And Emily goes, "I'm just being honest. That's it." And Heather, "Believe me, if I wanted to spread shit, I could spread shit. I don't do that. I think that lately you're just looking for shit to be pissed with me about, and I don't like it." We get the flashbacks. I mean, yeah, of Emily telling Heather that the way she speaks about her life and herself makes it sound like she's better than everyone and like her life is more important than everyone else's. Honestly, Emily's not totally wrong about how it can come across, okay? And then when Emily called out Heather at Nobu, gosh, Nobu is a place for everyone there, right? Makes me kind of want some sushi right now. God. And when Emily called out Heather for the kind of phony relationship she has with Tamara, which facts, but it was so funny because Emily goes, "You have a point there." And then Heather goes, "Look, we all have conversations and we're all talking about it. But then there comes a point, when it becomes a Heather issue." And Emily goes, "It's a Heather issue because she called you and told you." So Gina comes in, which, Jesus, Gina, no, I'm sorry. Gina's like on my last nerve. I'm not totally entirely certain why, but she just fucking is. She's interrupting this conversation that honestly, I think they could have really, I don't know, gotten some good footage of Emily and Heather actually speaking with each other. But Gina can't. She's so fucking possessive over Emily and Heather both in this weird way because she loves talking shit on Heather, but she's possessive. You know what I'm saying? Like all at the same time. And Gina comes over and just like, "Yeah, the vault. We've all been talking in the vault and we've been violating the vault. You can't just start chucking people under the bus when people are just sitting there caring about you." Whatever. So Shannon, Vicky, Tamara leave, and Shannon's like, "Well, I've learned my lesson here. You can't be honest with anyone. I learned my lesson." Did you? Because the last time there was something that Heather knew about you. You confronted her and kicked her, and she kicked you out of her house. Please leave. Okay. So, my friends, again, I'm just trying to ease us all into this transition. The name Besties by Bravo might be changing, okay? Doesn't change the fact that I would love you to leave me a nice little review, okay? Podcasters live and die on them. Subscribe to the YouTube, do all of it. I'm going to put a pause on the merch right now because the manufacturer I'm using has been not doing what I would think they should be doing. I'll just put it that way. Samples I received are different than what I saw someone else receive. So I'm just letting you know I'm on it. I'm changing it. I'm fixing it. I've designed some really fun, cute stuff. So many things I've drawn by hand and all of it. And it's just because I love doing all of this. Good. Leave me a lovely review. Subscribe. Let me know, what do you think I should change the name of the podcast and all my accounts to? Spiraling. All right. I will see you next week, friends. I will have some guests. As of now, I should be doing 2 episodes next week, but I prefer to under promise, over deliver. So we're going to just see what happens. But it will be a fun week next week. That I know. All right, my friends. See you next time. Bye, besties.